Hello, I'm Jeannie Alvin. I've written a number of books that pertain to this, and you'll find them and my bio at amazon.com, books, and then my name, JeannieAlvin. In this video, we're going to search and discover what is called the state of enlightenment. It's said to be our natural state and who we are at the core of our being. So let me just go over some books that may interest you and pertain to this. On my amazon.com page, you'll find some books. You may be interested in what's beyond the physical. So the first one I wrote about that was how the angels contacted me and what they taught. At the same time, these beautiful poems were coming to me, and I call them love songs to God. There's volume 1. And I don't think I put volume 2 on here yet on Amazon. But anyhow, volume 1 is there. And then after that, you might like Simple Steps to Mastery, which is advanced metaphysical, what's beyond the physical. Very interesting exploration. I'm a very fast reader. And I was given a book by my mom. I think it was called Don't Push the River, and it inspired me to search the library near my home for metaphysical books. Well, they only had about 15, and I read them all. They were very fascinating, new ones and old ones. And they said a lot of the same things in both the new ones and the ones written long ago. Then I discovered a metaphysical library near me that had hundreds of books, old and new. And I'm, as I said, a very fast reader. I can read a book in a day. So I went through that library and took notes as I did things and found things that were effective for me. So that's in the first book that I mentioned, How to Find Love from People, Angels, and God. And I was having contact. I was feeling my Creator, what I call God, or what I now call the Divine Presence. Well, then years passed, and I was blessed to, and I believe it's a gift from the Creator, to go into that oneness, into that what's called awakening, or the state of enlightenment, very deeply for 2.5 weeks. The mind that's always here talking ceased to be here. It was off at the side. That's something we can't do. This is only the Creator. So when it happens for you, it'll happen in your own best way. There's probably as many ways as there are stars in the sky. But we can look for it and seek it, and I believe that helps it to happen. So I wrote this first book as I was in that beautiful state, and then in the months that followed, and they were questions I had, a new way of looking at our reality, and that was the book that's called Awakening to Our Oneness. And I call it Our Oneness because when you discover that true self, you'll see it's unique to it. Well, it's all of our state. It's all of us. So then a little time went on, a couple years, and I began looking within. And I described that in some of my other videos. But I wrote a book called Awaken to Life Better Than You Ever Dreamed. Let's see if I can find it here on my Amazon site. Wow, it should be here. Yeah, there it is. It's blue. Awaken to Life Better Than You Ever Dreamed. That's what I discovered as I looked within for a year. And I created these games. I think there are 8 of them in the book, and many of them pull you into that state of oneness, so you might enjoy that. Then later I wrote a short version that just helps us heal problems. So the games that help us do that are in a littler book called Change Games. Now, many of these books are as inexpensive as Amazon would let me put them, like $2.99, because I don't want anybody limited by money to get this information that could help in our growth. All my books are as inexpensive as I could make them. So now let's do our exploration. Okay, so who am I at the very core of my being? Many of us are becoming conscious creators and have learned how or are learning how to consciously manifest. You might call that your daily job, and all that will continue. To me, the greatest and most important question is, who am I at the very core of my being? So in a few moments we'll look, and as I look you could look too. What we're looking for, from what I understand from ancient masters and my own discoveries, is they say that what is real is unchanging. So what is it that never changes? Well, that is not our body, right? Because it sure changes. The latest change for me is I'm aging and I'm starting to get jowls. Here's my nice little instant facelift. But that's not me, because that changes, right? So that can't be the real me, the real. Thoughts are ever changing, so that can't be real. Our conscious manifesting is ever changing. What we desire is endless. We get what we want, or we don't get what we want, and we continue to do our manifesting, our work. And I've got some techniques on the morning prayers and the Bad Childhood Do-Over videos on YouTube, if you want to look at those. But that's ever changing as well. So that can't be what's real, because it's ever changing. So let's just rest from all of that, and let's just say to the thoughts that go on constantly all day long, I've heard that there's 90,000 of them, let's just, and some of them are important. We have to do our daily tasks. We want to consciously manifest. We may do our prayers or our intentions for the day. I call those important tasks the working mind. But the rest just go on and on all day long. From the moment we wake up to the moment we fall asleep, they go on. Blah, 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 blah. So they're not real as far as our true self, because they change. So let's just take a rest from the thoughts, and here's how I do it. I at first said no thank you. I'm not listening to you. I said no thank you to every thought that came up, and I just focused on what I wanted to focus on. But later I changed it to blah, blah, blah. It was easier. Or you might say yada, yada, yada. Whatever you decide to say is fine to every thought that comes up, and they come up constantly, like one a second. You might notice as we do this, when we're not focusing on them, they slow down. So let's look inside as we say blah, 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 or whatever, as they come up, and they will. So we're going to look with just our minds. And if you need to pause to look further as we're looking, pause and then resume when you're ready. So, as I look into me, you could look into yourself. We're just going to look to notice without trying to fix or change anything. We're not going to say, okay, I'm going to put more light here. No. We're just going to notice. We have two jobs during this entire little process of looking. One is noticing or looking with our minds only, and the other is saying blah, 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 or your version to any thoughts. Two jobs. Noticing is the most important one. So I'm going to begin by looking inside my head and blah, blah, blah to those thoughts. So I'm noticing inside my head, just with my mind, what do I find? Maybe some energies. There's some energies around my mouth. There's kind of light energies. So it doesn't matter what's there. It could be energies, it could be space. It doesn't matter what's there. What matters is just that we notice it. Okay, so let's notice and look for our real self in the rest of our body, on the inside, just with our mind. So I'm going to look into my neck then, just noticing, not much there, there's space I think. Looking into my chest, a little more energies there. Looking down into my stomach, along my back, there's some more energies along my back, and space. And I'm looking, because I've always known myself as Jeannie, female. So you could look yourself as I look. I'm looking inside this whole area with my mind, blah, 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 to thoughts, looking into this whole area for a Jeannie. I don't see any sign or anything that says Jeannie. Take a look inside you. See if you find anything inside you that says your name or your gender. I don't see anything that says gender. Just with my mind, I can't find it. Now, with my mind, I'm going to explore beyond my body. So I'm just noticing inside and blah, blah, blah. From inside my body, I'm going to go out. Let's see, I'm going to go out to the right. I'm not finding a boundary at the edge of my body. So I'm just going to keep going with my mind as far as I can go. Well, it seems endless. So I'm going to come back inside my body with my mind and just look to the left. I'm going to go past my body. There doesn't seem to be a boundary at the edge of my body. And I'm noticing, it just seems to go on and on. I'm going to look down below me. No boundary at my body. On and on it goes. Just forever. My mind could just go. I'm going to look above me. No boundary at my body. Some changing energies, but that's all. Just no boundaries. So this seems boundless. So I continue to look in all directions. In front of me, behind me, above me, below me. It all seems boundless. So inside and outside, I find only space and more space and energies. What remains constant and unchanging? Because that's what we're looking for. I find that this noticing is constant. This noticing, this looking, it's this awareness of all I've discovered. It seems to be in the area of my head. That appears to be constant, ever watching, ever noticing. And I can think back to the morning when I woke up, and it seems to be constant. I'm aware if I had a good night's sleep or not, so that noticing that awareness must have been in my sleep state. I think back to my life, and there's always been this awareness. Have you found that? So that is who we are. That is who you are. You are that. You are that boundless, spacious, always aware being. We could say being. It has no name. Does it have a name? I couldn't find a Jeannie inside. You are that. This is what you've been searching for. Just bask in it. Enjoy it. Many blessings. What we can do, many of us at the beginning of each day do our prayers, our intentions, our conscious manifesting. We could also do this every day. We could look inside. We can notice that awareness and remember our true, boundless nature, our true self. See you next time.